Hello, how's it going? This is Romuald Fons. Welcome to a new video of our SEO course, Accelerated Tutorial WordPress. In this video, we're gonna make a WordPress course. We're gonna learn everything necessary to make an optimized website. Let me warn you, furious marketers, this video goes over 40 minutes. You will need strength, you will need to take notes, but you will end up being experts in this sector. So let's go!
Hey!
To all of you who like to read on your comfy couch, damn! We've created a very structured article. You've got the link in the description or on the YouTube cards. Click on it. Let's go for it. The first thing we gotta do is access our administration panel. To go to our panel, we gotta go to our website, in this case avesexoticas.org, and type /wp-admin. This takes us to this page. You type your username and your password. As you can see, I am explaining the most basic things, like adding a username or a password. Very good, Romuald! This is our administration panel. On the left, you've got the different sections that we're going to be explaining in this course. But first, we're going to start with the navigation bar. The navigation bar is this black bar we've got up here on the top part of our screen. It's always there and super powerful. Wherever you go, it will appear. What can we do in this navigation bar? Lots of things. The first one is that it tells you if there are any updates. If you've got any pending updates, update it! It's very important because if not, you can have vulnerabilities and hackers might be there watching. So if you see a number there in these two arrows, you click and update. The second thing that we need to know about this new bar that will become your best friend is that if you have any new comments, you need to moderate. What this means is that maybe a reader has left a comment, but it still hasn't been published, and for people to see it, you've got to accept it. And this is important because when your blog will receive lots of visitors, which it will, because you're doing this course, people will try to leave spam with comments like, hey, come and check out my website. Fuck you. Don't accept these people's comments and throw them to the trash. That's why you've got this. Then we've got this option that says new, which is used to publish new entries or new pages. You can also publish new mediums, links, and users, but I'm telling you, you're never gonna do it from this bar. So you will use this bar to publish new entries or new pages. You'll see later what it is. And finally, since WordPress is very nice, you'll got a hello admin or hello your name, your profile. From here you can go edit your profile or log out. And that's what the navigation bar does. Well, actually you can do more things like edit, but you'll see it later. Let's start talking about the different sections of WordPress. Let's start with the entries. Entries are the most important part of your WordPress. It's where you're gonna publish most of the part of your content. Your content is mostly gonna be entries and pages. What's the difference between entries and pages? Just a few. Even if SEO workers say that pages or entries rank better, they lie. They rank the same. The only big difference between entries and pages is the classification. Entries can be classified, pages can't. Entries have different types of classification, through categories and through tags. But all this you'll see it clearly if we publish an entry together. And we create categories, tags, and we publish pictures. And how can we create a new entry? As always, WordPress allows you to do the same thing in very different ways. You can create a new entry by clicking this button. You can create a new entry through the navigation bar. You can create a new entry from the sidebar. Pick the one you like the most. I'm gonna click this one. This is the page to create a new entry. And here's where we're gonna add the title. The title is what SEO workers commonly call H1. H1 is very important because it's a very powerful ranking factor when it comes to Google ranking different articles. So try that your name and title of your entries are optimized, that appear... No. Be careful with this. Not that it's optimized enough. No. You know what? Better not think in anything. Write the title that you think best describes the content of this entry, and that's it. I'll create an entry, fake, but an entry, about how to take care of parakeets. How to take care of parakeets. This is my entry's title, the H1. What can we do now? Add the content. you can add the content in this place here. Here, you can add text, you can add images, you can add links, you can add lots of things. Let's add a few of them. Let's add some useful text. The parakeets are happy, I am too. And you should be too. It's a good text, it's optimist, I like it. Let's go add an image. Well, to add text, you just gotta type here, and that's it. To add an image. Well, let's go to this button, Add Object, and we click on it. Then this screen appears, which allows us to select files from our computer. Like for example, this image of parakeets. When you click on Open, automatically WordPress gets that image and uploads it to the hosting. Here you got the image already uploaded to our WordPress. What else can we do with WordPress? This thing here on the right are the image attributes. And it's also important to optimize it for SEO. The two most important attributes for the images are the alt, here where it says alternative text, and the legend, which is the caption. Google uses the alt attribute to know what the image is about. So in alt, write a text that describes briefly what the image is about. Lots of people say you over-optimize them. If you don't want to fall into over-optimization, do this, guys. Type an alt that only describes the image. In this case, blue parakeet. And in the legend, which will be read by the users, so type a text which contributes more information. This is my blue parakeet, and it's called Pepito. And you click on Insert Entry. Bam! Now we've got our image inside our article. As easy as that. This image has the code with the alt attribute blue parakeet, and it's also showing this description or caption. What else can we do here? We're gonna create a subtitle, or what SEO workers call H2. Or H2, or H3. You can create lots of them. We're gonna create H2 and H3. We're gonna create a subtitle which is Hola Caracola. We type the text, we select it, and here in the square where it says paragraph, we select title 2. This makes the text bigger, and it's adding the code that's telling Google that this is an H2. We're gonna create an H3. It would be the same. We select a text, for example this one here, and you would select title 3. This is adding the code of H3. Now you know how to add H1s, H2s, H3s, alt attributes, caption attributes, without any coding. WordPress is amazing! And now to finish, well not finish, to follow, because there are still things left. We're gonna add a link. Those things that are very important for SEO, that are links. What's a link? Watch the SEO dictionary. To add a link, you select a piece of the text, happy, all, and you click here, on the chain. And this box will appear saying paste the URL or type to search. Here you add the URL of the link. For example, I add a link to my website, romualdfons.com. I type romualdfons.com and I press enter. And that's it, we added a link to the website. We'll check it out later if that link works. Let's go to this site which talks about categories. Here, WordPress allows us to classify the entries by categories. By default, WordPress has a category called uncategorized, which is very ugly. So let's create a new category. Let's click here on Add New Category. And let's create the category Parakeets. Parakeets. We click here. And the category Parakeets appears. From now on, any other article that we create that talks about parakeets, we'll add it to this category. As easy as that. The tags. Tags are a bit more complicated. I would normally not recommend using tags unless you have a really big website. But I want you to learn what exactly we use tags for. Categories and tags are taxonomies. They're actually the same, but you have to use them in a different way. Categories include all the articles that talk about the same topic. You need to use tags to define common characteristics that can have articles in different categories. If I give you an example, it's gonna be easier. For example, we've created the category parakeets, but here as a tag, I could add blue. Why? Because there are birds, parakeets that are blue, but there will also be blue canaries. And there will also be other types of blue birds. Now I thought about blue pigeons. I don't know if they exist, but they would be beautiful. Why do we want to create tags, for example? Maybe I'm interested that in my website, people can look for only blue birds. And inside those birds, there will be other birds from different categories. Another example which seems easier. Imagine I've got a newspaper. The categories will be movies, present news, romance, and a tag could be, for example, Brad Pitt. Why? Because Brad Pitt can be in an article in the category movies, because he made a new movie. Or Brad Pitt can be in an article of the category romance, because he just divorced for the 3rd time. You see the difference? In this field here, we will assign a featured image. We've already added an image in the article, we could add more. But the featured image is the image that you see in the lists. It doesn't have to be inside the article. And normally, it's also going to be the image you're going to see if you share this article on Facebook or any other social network. So, to add a featured image, the only thing you need to do is click here, and you select an image that's already uploaded, or you upload a new one. Upload files, select files, and I select this one here, green parakeet, assign featured image, and here we've got the featured image of the article. The only thing left to do is to publish it. To publish the article, we gotta go to this publish field. Damn, it's difficult, huh? It's very difficult. And we've got different options. We can save it as a draft, like this people won't see it yet, and we can still edit it and publish it tomorrow. We can publish it immediately or set it up, which is good too. Maybe you create your article today, but you wanted to publish it tomorrow because you're on a trip. You can schedule it here. You can decide when to publish it. But in this case, we're going to publish it right now. We click on publish. And we've got our article published. Here where it says published entry. If you click on view entry, we've got our article. This is the featured image. This is the title, how to take care of parakeets, which is the H1. And here's the text we included. The parakeets are happy. The image, the caption. This is my blue parakeet, the H2, H3. And the link. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna click on the link. Takes me to my website. Works! And now I'm gonna explain you the extra function that we can find in the navigation bar. Our horizontal dark friend we've got up here. If we're seeing the entry, you see that an edit entry appeared. If we click on it, it takes us to the page's entry and we can change things. We can add more pictures, we can add more text, we can add the text in bold. Actually, I didn't tell you, but if you click on here, we'll find more tools. I recommend you to publish an entry as a test and edit anything you want, because if you don't like it, you can delete it later. You can change the text to bold, underline it, change the color of the font. You can do anything you want, and then when you click on update, those changes will appear in your entry as easy as that. This, guys, is the hardest thing you'll find on WordPress. If you've reached this part of the video, what's coming is easy peasy. Stay with us, don't go! Okay, let's go. If we now go to the entry section, we'll see a list of all the entries that your website has. There's two, the one that comes by default with WordPress, this infamous Hello World, and the one we just published, which is how to take care of parakeets. We don't like this Hello World, so we're gonna send it to the trash can. We click here, and this article goes straight to the trash can, which you've got it here. In the trash can, you can restore the article if you deleted it by mistake, or you can send it to hell by clicking on delete permanently and see you later, which I just did. The categories part in the entries section is simply a list of all the categories that our WordPress has. Here you can see the uncategorized category, which is the one that comes by default with WordPress, and parakeets, which is the one we just created. Here you can change the name or the URL. Let's change one so you can see it. The uncategorized, which we don't like. Let's make a quick edit, and we're gonna change it to parrots, which is probably gonna be another of the categories of our WordPress. And here where it says slug, this is actually the URL. We type parrots and we click on update category. We've got two categories, parakeets and parrots. When I'll make an article about parakeets, I'll select the parakeets category. If it's about parrots, the parrots category, and that's it. Also in this list, you can see the amount of articles that this category has. If you click here, for example, you'll see the list of those articles inside that category, and you'll be able to edit them. Imagine that this one about parakeets also, I don't know, talks about parrots too. Well, here, I would select the category, parrots. I would click on update, and if we go to the categories list, you'll see that both parrots and parakeets have one article. I don't recommend you adding an article in more than one category. That's why we've got the tags. So let's undo this. I click here, quick edit, unselect parrots, update. Boom. That's it. Let's move forward. In the tags part happens the same thing as in the categories part. It's a list of all the tags you can find in the articles of our website. Here you can create tags, delete tags, change the name of the tags. You can see the amount of articles that have this tag, etc, etc, etc. If you click here, the same. You can edit the name, the slug, create new ones, add new tag. You can create tags from the WordPress articles. And with this we conclude the entries section. Now it's time for the media. The media section is not that complicated. As it says up here, it's a multimedia library. It's where you store all the images or files we've uploaded to our WordPress. Since we've uploaded 2 images in the previous article, these 2 images are here. Here we can see them, we can edit its attributes, we can delete them, we can add new ones, here at add new, here at add new, as always in WordPress from different places, from here to add new one. It's only that, it's a list. What else can I say here? Here you can see all the images in your WordPress and that's it. So let's move on to the next topic, the links. If the media section is rarely used, the link section even less. I don't even want to explain it, it's something that WordPress added a few updates ago. It's in case if you use the same links a few times in a row, blah 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 blah. I don't want to explain it, dude, you'll never use it. So let's move on to the next section, the time is money. The pages. And this section is very important. The pages are like categories, but you can't classify them. So then why is this section here? Because it makes sense. In every website there's content that can be classified. For example, if you've got a contact page where you want people to send you emails, where are you gonna add it? In a category called Talk to Me? Doesn't make sense. That's why we use pages. It's also usually used for pages like for the cookies, for the legal notice, for the who am I, for whatever. For those typical pages that can be classified, I've said it. Let's create a website together so you can see the differences with one entry. To create a new page on WordPress, click the same button as always, add new one. And this page appears, which is exactly the same as the one for entries. The difference is that it doesn't have the categories and the tags. It has one extra thing, which is this superior page attributes, where you can make pages that depend on other pages. But let me tell you that we won't use this, and I can explain this later on in the course. If we wanted to publish a page, we would do the same thing. Hello, how are you? This would be the title, the page is H1. I would type the content here, blah blah blah. I would add a featured image. It's exactly the same, we'll select this parakeet. And I click on publish, and now I've published a page, and as you can see, if I go to all the pages, it will appear the pages of about, which is the one that comes by default with WordPress, and the one that I just published, which is hello, how are you? And the same, you can edit from here, quick edit, hello, how are you, dude? You can change the URL, you can change it from publish to draft, anyway. You can delete it, which is what I'm gonna do, and that's it. Also, a really good function that pages have that articles don't have is that you can select a page and set it as your website's homepage. Usually in WordPress, they have an entry list as a homepage. But if you're more interested in having a fixed page where you can always see the same thing, you can create that page and set it as your homepage, which I'll later explain how to do it. But apart from that, there's nothing else in the pages section, so let's move on. The comments! In the comments part, you will find a list of all the comments that your WordPress has. In this list, you'll find comments that are pending to be accepted, you'll find comments that are already published, and you can do whatever you want with the comments. This page doesn't have any comments because it's new, but we're gonna create a new one so you see what happens. I'll go to my blog, and I'm gonna find this article about parakeets. I'm inside the article that I just created about how to take care of parakeets. I'm gonna delete this article because I really don't explain how to take care of a parakeet. And here, I would type whatever I want. Hello, parakeet, how you doing? And then I would click on publish comment, well, me or any person visiting your website. And it's published right here. If we now go to the comments section, you'll find this comment. And from here, you can reject, answer, edit, send to spam, or approve if it wasn't approved yet. In this case, it's already approved because I wrote it. I'm the WordPress administrator. But if someone else writes it and ends up happening, as I said, leaving you some spam, and these comments will stay here pending to be approved, and you'll be able to see them, approve them, or reject them. It's not that hard, same as with articles. If you send them to the trash can, it will appear here in the trash can, and then you can restore them or delete them permanently. And that's it. Guys, we've almost finished. We're almost done. You're learning everything necessary to create a WordPress. In just one video, I'm proud of myself, of you, of Giuseppe, and of this sunny day here in Barcelona. The appearance. In this section is where we're gonna make our website look pretty. It's where you're gonna be able to select different themes. You'll be able to add menus or widgets. It has different sections, but they're all summarized in this one single section called Personalize. But we're first gonna make a very small description of each one of them so you know how they work. Let's begin. Themes. Themes are like small files. It's like putting on a dress on your WordPress. If you select one theme or the other, your WordPress will look totally different. For example, my WordPress now looks like this. Like this, with a shitty jar that comes by default and I'm tired of it, and a list of the articles. This is the theme. The current theme of my WordPress is called 2017. Now I'm gonna activate the 2015, for example, which is also ugly. It's activated. What happens now? Let's check out my WordPress. It's totally different. The navigation is now here on the left, you see? How different this website is from the other? Totally different. What else can we do here? And now you're gonna go crazy. WordPress has thousands of free downloadable themes that you can add to your website. You only have to click here on Upload Theme, and you'll have a ton of them. You'll find the popular ones, the recent ones, filter them if you want them as a block or another type, by colors, 2 columns, 3, infinite possibilities. You're gonna spend a lot of time here, I'm telling you, you're gonna waste your time. This is really wasting your time. I would recommend you getting a functional one like the 20s, they work pretty well, they are the WordPress officials. 2014, 15, 16, 17, the last ones are really good when it comes to coding. I'm gonna choose the 2016 because I like it. I'm gonna click on the activate button. That's how it looks and it works. You all choose the one you want. One last thing before we go into the next section is that from here, apart from installing themes, you can also delete them. Click on theme details and down here where it says delete, you click on delete and that theme will disappear from your hosting. It will stop using necessary space. Let's move on. Menus are one of the most important parts when it comes to our WordPress navigation. As always, it's easier if I give you an example. This WordPress, since it's new, it doesn't have any menu. We're gonna create a new menu. You type here the name of the menu, we're gonna write superior, and you click on create menu. We've now created our new menu. Here you could add pages, you could add posts, you could add categories, you could add links, you could add whatever you want. It's right here, for example. Here WordPress directly shows me the pages. The page, hello, how are you? I want the hello, how are you page in the menu because it's important. I select it, and I click on add menu, and it's here in the menu. What else? The parakeets category. I go here, it will show me the categories that I have, and I select the one that I want. Parakeets, add to the menu. It's now added to the menu. You can add personalized links. A link that's not even in your website, whatever you want. Once you've added here all the links that you want in your menu, you select where you want your menu to be displayed. In this case, I'll select primary menu, which is the one in the top, and you click save menu. And what did just happen here? If you now go to your website, you click on reload, and it will appear this navigation menu. This is the category, this is the page, and this is a menu. As easy as that. It's that easy to add a menu on WordPress. You can add as many menus as you want, you can add whatever you want in the menus. You can also have drop-down menus. Wait, I forgot about this. For example, I'm gonna turn this into a drop-down menu. I grab this, I drag it over here, and look what happens. It's saved, click here, reload, and now you only see the hello, how are you? But when I scroll the mouse over it, parakeets appear. We've created a drop-down menu. You're learning so much today, damn! If I click on this, I'll go to the parakeets category. Look, parakeets category, ha ha ha! And if I click on here, I'll go to the hello, how are you page. Look, the hello, how are you page. What's up, guys? And if I click here, I go to my blog's homepage. And if I click here, we go to, we've got a website. Do you see? We've got a website through which you can navigate now. We're almost done. We only need to SEO optimize it a little bit. Come on, let's go! The widgets. Widgets are functionalities that you can add to the sidebars of your WordPress or your footer. Wait, let me explain you what a sidebar is. This is the sidebar of your WordPress. This is the footer of your WordPress. The footer is the part of the bottom. The sidebar is this part on the side right here. And this theme is on the right, but in other themes is on the left. Well, let's go back to widgets. As you can see here on sidebar, you can find search, recent entries, recent comments, and oh, wonderful, if we go to my website, it's what appears here, a search, recent entries. Here you can add whatever you're interested in displaying in your WordPress. For example, I'm gonna delete the recent comments because I don't want to display the comments on my sidebar, and I'm also gonna delete the target and the files, for example. You see, I just dragged it and that's it. Now if I go to my website and click on reload, that's it. You see how easy it is to add things in the widgets. There's a ton of widgets, same as plugins, which I'm about to explain. There's widgets for Instagram, there's widgets for Facebook, there's widgets that show images, there's widgets for anything. But let's move forward. The editors section, I would tell you to not even touch it, don't even get close to it. Because if you don't know about coding, you're not gonna use it and you could delete important stuff. But I could explain what it is. Here you'll find all the files on your WordPress, and you can modify them. You can change the styles, the CSS, you can add CH codes, you can do a lot of things. But for now, don't touch it. You know they're there, and forget about them. And now, I'm gonna skip the head section. I'm gonna skip the background section. Why? Because in the personalized section, because you can edit all these things that I just told you about, and you can see the changes in real time. Check this out. This is important. Here in Personalize is where you can edit most of the things that you can see in your WordPress in real time. You can change themes from right here. From here, you can activate different WordPress themes. You can also change very relevant things such as the H1 of your homepage. Here where it says my blog, I'm gonna write exotic birds. Look, you see how it changed in real time? This is what's gonna be displayed in my website. Here in short description, I'm gonna type blog specialized in exotic birds. You're so original, Romuald. I'll find something better later. You see, here it changed. Blog specialized in exotic birds. What else? If you click here, you can go back and keep editing other things. You can change the header image, add new image. I'm gonna use this image, why not? You can select and cut, I'll just get the face. I'm moving fast because you'll learn all this by practicing. You cut the image. Boom, an image has been added right here, which I don't like, I'll delete it. Get out of here. There's no image anymore, let's go back. What else can I change? The background colors of the links. What else can I change? The background image if I wanted to add an image, which I don't. The menus, you can select them from right here. Whatever I showed you in the menu section, you can do it from right here. The widgets, you can also do those from here. Everything can be done from here, it's wonderful. However, I like doing each thing from its section, it's like better organized. That said, once you're done editing everything you want to edit, you click on save and publish, and we're done. We're done with the appearance section. Close, and now if you go to your blog, you can now see that it says exotic birds and everything that we've changed. The widgets, the title, everything, the menu. Damn, we've changed this so much, I love my website. Look what just happened here, someone is already leaving comments. Look, this is gonna be very useful, I don't know who you are, but thank you. You see that it says approved? These comments haven't been approved yet. If we go to the comments section, this is live guys in real time. Here it is, and I can approve them. Look, I'm gonna approve yours because I like you, and this one I'm gonna send it to the trash can. You just saw it in real time how to approve or delete comments. Let's go. The plugins. Be careful with this section. Be careful with this section because it's amazing. It's one of the reasons why WordPress is such a powerful and versatile CMS. Plugins are small programs that you can install in your WordPress and give extra functionalities. All kinds of functionalities. There are plugins to optimize. There are security plugins. There are plugins to create a forum. There are plugins to create a social network. There are plugins for auctions. There are plugins for everything. And from this section, you can manage them. Here, by default, there are 2 installed plugins. One's the Akismet, which is an anti-spam for the comments. I'll activate it later. And Hello Dolly, which is one that comes by default with WordPress and leaves you a shitty comment here. And I don't want it, so I'll just delete it. You sure you want to delete it? Yes. That's it. I'm gonna install a plugin so you see how easy it is to add a new plugin to your WordPress. You click here and add new. Same as in The Sims, you'll find loads of plugins. Let's install, I don't know, the Contact Form 7. The Contact Form 7 plugin is a typical plugin used for people to fill out forms, to send you emails. To install a plugin, the only thing you need to do is search it like I just did, and click Install Now. You click the button, it says installing, and it's installed. Now we could activate it from here, but I'm gonna go back again to the list so you can see it. And here we've got the Contact Form 7. The plugins by default are not active, you can activate them. And now that extra function is active. I've already installed this plugin. Later on in the course, actually in the next video, I'm going to tell you which are the basic plugins you need to install in your WordPress. But for the ones who want to do some work in advance, here in the description and on the tags, you'll find a link to an amazing article in which I talk about the best plugins for WordPress. I'm not going to talk much more about plugins because each plugin is a program, and each one has a world of its own. You gotta treat them separately. We're gonna talk about that in the next video, so for now, we're done with plugins. You gotta know that this is a list of plugins. You can install them, you can delete them, and you can activate them, and that's it. Users! This section is the most human section. Here you'll have a list of all the people who've signed up to your website, in case you allow people to sign up. The truth is, unless your website is a social network or a forum, you don't need people to sign up. Also, people won't sign up unless you give them something in exchange. But this is very useful, for example, to manage different authors. If you have different people that write in your blog, here each one of them will have its profile. You could define, actually, we're gonna see it. We're gonna edit my profile. In this profile, you can see lots of things. You can change all the colors in which this profile is gonna see its WordPress. It's lots of things. They're not that important, so I'll skip them. You can check them out, you can edit whatever you want, you can add the name, the surnames, the nicknames, change the email, change the password, and the most important is its profile. Here you can define if this profile is an administrator, if it's an editor, if it's an author, or if it's just simply a visitor, which can leave comments and that's it. Depending on the role you assign to each one of them, they can edit their articles, they can publish them, they can edit someone else's articles, or could even, if it's an administrator, create new users. By the way, to add new users, same as always, you can add them from here, you can add them from here, and you can add them from here. That's it. Not much more to add for SEO. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We can't waste time. Another useful thing that you can see here is the quantity of entries that this profile has published. In this case, it's only me, and there's only one entry. You'll see my user and one entry. If I click here, same as it happened with entries and pages, you'll see a list of all the entries that I published. That said, I'm not gonna add anything else. Here's where you can manage all the users, and that's it. Let's go. Time is money. Tools. The tools is one of those sections that you probably won't ever touch while you work with WordPress. It's also true that some plugins put their functionalities in here, inside the tools, like search and place and other things. But basically, you'll never touch this, unless you gotta do an import or an export. To import or export, it's basically if you got your WordPress in a domain and you want to put it in another domain, you export it or import it, but that now doesn't matter. Ha 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 ha! Let's move on. Settings! Come on guys, we're almost done! This is the last section of our WordPress, and it's one of the important ones. Let's go point by point. General settings. Here we can change what we can also change in appearance personalize. And again, WordPress shows off, allowing us to do the same thing from different places. What are we gonna do about it? Here you can change the title of the site, you can change the short description, the WordPress's URL. Don't touch anything from here. Leave it like that. You could also change the email, which could be useful. If you want the emails that they send you to be sent to a different email, you can change it here. What else can you change here? That's it. The site's language, but by default it will come in Spanish, so leave it like that. If it's in a different language, this is important. If, for example, your website is in Spanish, and here it appears to be in English, change it to Spanish, because this, when it comes to coding, is a bit complicated, which I'm not going to explain now, but it's important for the browsers. Change this to your website's language, and that's it. Click on Save Changes, and let's move on to the next topic. The writing settings section is really full of nonsense, like converting to emojis the colon and parentheses and crap like that. But it also has some useful things, like for example, the predetermined category of the entries. So every time you type a new entry, by default, that article will be in that category. That's not bad. Is there anything else? Not that much. This mail server thing will already be set up by default. Update services don't care about it. Click Save Changes or don't if you didn't touch anything. And let's move on to the next section, which is important, the reading. We're gonna stop for a bit in the reading section. In this thing up here, sample front page, is where you can change that thing that I told you when I was talking about pages. I want a list of articles displayed in my homepage, or maybe just a static page. Let's check it out with an example. Right now, as in sample front page is selected my last entries, if we go to the homepage of my website, you'll see a list of entries. The last entries that I publish will be displayed here. But If I select a static page, in this dropdown, you'll see all the pages that my website has. And if I select one and save it, I apply the changes, and I go back to my website's homepage. In the homepage, it will be displayed that page. Hello, how are you? And you won't see that list of articles. That's the difference. By default, I'm now gonna leave it in my last entries and we'll change that later. Here you can modify how many entries by default can be displayed in your homepage. And the most important thing in this section, and this is very, very, very important, is that this checkbox is unchecked. Guys, if this box is checked, we're telling Google to not take our website into account for anything. To not index it. To don't take it into account. It doesn't exist. Even if it doesn't seem true, I've seen many cases of people saying that their website wasn't indexed, and it was because this box was checked. If this box is checked, this website will have the non-index attribute. SEO dictionary. It's an attribute that's telling Google to not index it. So uncheck this box. Click on Save Changes and let's move on. In the comments section, you can edit some of the comments settings. I would recommend you to uncheck this option, which is the one about pingbacks and trackbacks, which means that when something links you, it also gives you a small comment with a no-follow link. It's better if you deactivate all of this. You could read what each one of these things does, but leave it by default. And forget about it. Here, there are other functionalities that are also useful. For example, if you've got a spammer, you can add here their IP or their name. So if it leaves you a comment, it will automatically reject them. And things like that. There are other functionalities like avatar by default that allows you to decide if you want to see a small image of the people when they leave a comment, that's their image of their profile in WordPress, or maybe a gravatar, which is a standard that WordPress has so you always display the same image in all the WordPress. Or maybe you don't display any image. You can define all this right here. You can decide whatever you want and then save the changes. In the media section, I'm telling you won't touch anything right now, but it's good that you know that WordPress, when you upload an image, it saves it in 3 different sizes. And depending if the image is displayed in a list, or inside the article, or occupying the whole article, I'll select one size or the other. Here we can define the size of each one of those images. Right now, by default in WordPress, the thumbnail size is 150 x 150 pixels, medium size 300 x 300, and large size is 1024 both sides. This is very important for SEO because we want the size of the displayed image to be the same as the native image. We don't want our image that's maybe that small to be that big, like 4000 by 4000, and to weigh a ton, because that will slow down our website. And if our website is slow, the people will leave, and that's bad for SEO. Well, that's the importance. We'll optimize this later, because there are plugins that solve this very well. And these 2 fields down here, don't touch them. This is where you save your images, and by default, it's already well set up. And finally, to finish, if you've reached this part of the video, you are the best. We've got the permanent links section. And the only thing you need to do in this section is select this option. Name of the entry. This will make that our URLs are friendly. I mean, that people can read it and that it's similar to the article's title. Since I already have it by default, I click on Save Changes, and so you see what I mean. We're gonna check an article. How to take care of parakeets. You see, this URL is friendly, exoticbirds.org/how to take care of parakeets. To make this happen, you just need to select this option here, and that's it. And that's all for today's video. What did you think of this amazing accelerated course? Non-stop and explaining everything necessary to set up your WordPress. And so now when I explain you what we gotta do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's it, we don't need anything else. Now the only thing left is to explain what plugins we need to add and how to set them up. And we'll do that in our next video of the SEO course. You're the best, guys. You can now say that you know exactly how to set up a WordPress and that you're WordPress experts and whatever you want. I'm super happy. And now to finish with this amazing video, punch this guy right on the face to subscribe to the channel. You can also watch the next video of the course, or you can start the course from the beginning, our amazing SEO course.